I don't know if you just noticed, but the step stool was out for some reason. The lectors were not sure, so they were just kind of straddling around it, but Deacon Ralph, he came and pushed it out of the way. Good man. I don't know why it would have been out. Maybe last night Father Len decided to preach from the pulpit. Bad priest. Well, he was, imitating Zacchaeus and all of that. It's a small man, but a good man. And now I'm talking about Zacchaeus, not the pastor. He was in a dishonorable profession, tax collector. For the most part, tax collectors, whichever form they took, and there were a couple of different ways that you could be a tax collector, but ultimately you were seen as being somebody who was helping the Romans. And if you were helping the Romans, automatically that gave you a label. But he was not an evil man. He just had the evil label stamped on him by others. And it sounds like from the gospel that it was, in fact, again, the Pharisees, the scribes, the religious leaders who were quick to condemn Jesus because they were wanting to find reasons to condemn him. So he said, Zacchaeus, I want to come to your house. I want to have dinner with you tonight. Zacchaeus was excited. The Pharisees and the scribes were worked up. This man is consorting with sinners, with evil people. Doesn't he know who that man is? That's a silly question to ask because, of course, Jesus knew who Zacchaeus was. Jesus knew far better than those who were being critical. Knew who Zacchaeus was. And Zacchaeus wasn't bragging. He wasn't saying, Lord, I'll give half my belongings to the poor. And if I've done anything wrong, if I've wronged anybody, I'll make it right 4 times over. It wasn't like the story that we heard in Luke's gospel a couple of weeks ago about the Pharisee who in fact was publicly standing there. I give you thanks, Lord, that I am not like the rest of men, or even like that tax collector. No, Zacchaeus was saying to Jesus, I have heard what you teach. And I am trying, and I am going to continue to try to take it to heart. How about when we come to Mass, we're focused on having that in our hearts. To be able to say, Lord, I am trying, and with your help and and your grace, I will continue. And I will let it make a difference for others in whatever ways. You see, our lives do matter. We are the bricks that God is using to build his kingdom. Each and every one of us. That's what Jesus tried to teach. None of us is dispensable. As long as we're playing the numbers, as long as we get 80, 90%, whatever, then we're doing great. No, not in God's realm. Even the ones that others consider unimportant, not worth paying attention to, not worth listening to. No. God hears them. God does reach out to them. And the Pharisees, the scribes, they couldn't see that in Zacchaeus. But Jesus could. When we are quick to criticize or to judge others, we can't see their specialness. We can't see what God sees. And we miss out. And we forget. And our light glows a little less brightly. And in this day and age, isn't it amazing how easy it can be, even if I don't think I have that opinion about someone, how quickly that can change because of what other people might be saying in the media or writing on the internet. In this society, in this culture, where it has become so easy to criticize, to demonize, we can sometimes forget to look for the good. Sir William Osler is among the most esteemed physicians in modern medical history. It is said that one day he entered the pediatric ward of a London hospital and noted with delight the children who were playing at one end of the room. Then his gaze was drawn to one small girl who sat off to one side, alone on her bed, a doll in her arms. She was clearly troubled by feelings of loneliness. A question to the head nurse about her brought the response that she was ostracized by the other children. Her mother was dead, Osler was told. Her father had paid but one visit, bringing at that time the doll she now tightly clutched. Apart from that one visit, no one had ever come to see her again. As a result, the other children concluded that she was unimportant and had treated her with disdain. Sir William was at his best in moments like this, and he immediately walked to the child's bed. "May I sit down, please?" he asked in a voice loud enough to carry to where the other children were at play. "I can't stay long on this visit, but I wanted to see you badly." Those describing the moment say that the girl's eyes became electric with joy. For several minutes, the physician conversed with her, now in quiet, almost secretive tones. He inquired about her doll's health and appeared to be carefully listening to its heart with his stethoscope. And then as he rose to leave, his voice lifted again so that everyone heard, "You won't forget our secret, will you? And mind you, don't tell anyone." As Osler left the room, he turned to see the once ignored youngster, now the center of attention of every other child on the ward. When we judge, we are the ones who miss out. When we stereotype, no matter what the reason, we are not being the friends of Jesus. We've got to remember, if we look for the bad, we will find it. But if we look for the good, we can find that. And that's what will make the difference.